Welcome back. Something a little bit different today. It's something that occurred to me today while I was at work, and I thought, why the hell not? I've never seen anything like that before. So we're doing a musical instrument tier list today, as you can see from the title of the video. I've never really done anything like this before, and I hope that in doing this I will reveal a little bit more about me as a music lover, and I have many opinions about all of these. A lot good, a lot not good. The way I am ranking these is essentially based on the sound of them and how much I like the sound and the versatility. I think that's a fair way to assess these, subjectively. Okay, so let's get started. The accordion. This is an instrument that, basically until starting this video in this moment, I've never really had much of an opinion on. I think it's very impressive. To be able to play an accordion requires a hell of a lot of concentration and coordination, and it is impressive when I see people, you get a lot of buskers and stuff playing accordions, but I don't like the sound. If I am near a busker playing an accordion, I will basically move away from them as quickly as possible. So I respect them, I just don't like them. And I wouldn't say they're that versatile. They tend to be played on their own, really. That's at least in my experience. So I'm going to put accordion in C tier because, like I say, I don't enjoy it, but I respect it. Bagpipes. Now this is an interesting one because I really don't like the sound of bagpipes. I think most people don't. It's a wonder they even exist, to be honest. But one of my favourite bands of all time, Korn, incorporated bagpipes into their sound, which was very strange. So I'm very conflicted on this one. I hate them. They're a terrible sound, but when you put it in Korn's music, for whatever reason, it just works. Not very versatile at all. They kind of dominate any soundscape that they're put into, I think. So I think bagpipes, I'm going to put, because of the Korn connection only, I'm going to put in C tier under that, yeah, because there is a large reason why I have enjoyed bagpipes in the past. I just generally think they're awful. Banjo. I am not a redneck. I've never been a redneck, I never intend to be. And I feel like banjo, there's a large association there with people in dungarees and straw hats. And I have heard banjos included in some forms of metal, it's done kind of in an ironic way, I think, a lot of the time. They're kind of an amusing instrument, I will say that, but I don't like the sound of it. It turns me off in every sense, the sound of a banjo. So I'm gonna put it in... I'm very torn between C and D. I'm gonna put it in C because I don't hate it. I just really don't think it's very good. The bassoon. I think there's room for bassoon in metal, actually. I think it's a very pretty instrument. I like it when it's played with long notes. I think it's very smooth and pretty, but then you get really frantic playing and it just kind of does my head in. So again, I'm quite conflicted on this one. Like I said, the staccato notation is very annoying to me. Played in the right way, I think it's very pretty and very versatile, actually. So I'm going to put bassoon in A tier. Yeah. Surprising myself with this one, but I do quite like bassoon. Okay, now, bass guitar. Electric bass guitar, specifically. In terms of versatility and my appreciation of the sound of it, I think we know where this one is going. I don't think people perceive it this way, but I very much do, that bass guitar is more versatile than six-string guitar because of the thickness of the strings. There's a lot more you can do with like processing and effects and stuff with a bass guitar. I don't really think I have to explain myself, really, do I? This is going Esther, obviously. You can't have metal of any kind, or rock, or any real guitar-based music without bass. It's essential for a lot of the music I enjoy. So, of course it's going in S tier, obviously. Bongos. It's not the most impressive instrument, is it? And not particularly versatile. The sound is a very specific sound, and I feel like it can be applied to a lot of things. Like, it's used in drum and bass a lot, for example. A lot of electronic music, you can add bongos to basically anything and it works. So in that sense it's versatile, but you're never going to get bongos in, you know, thrash metal, for example, or punk music. I think they are okay. They serve a very specific purpose, but do I love bongos? No. Definitely not. Yeah, bongos, they're inoffensive, really. I think they're easy to ignore if you don't like them, unlike bagpipes, for example. The cello. Cello is very pretty and soulful and obviously very deep string instrument. Please let me know in the comments if I'm just being a pig-ignorant person here, but is there any difference, any real tangible difference between a cello and an upright bass? Are they not just the same thing, just one's played with your fingers and one's played with a bow? But I like it. I think, again, this would have a place in metal as well. And I've used cello samples in my music in the past. I think it's an incredibly versatile instrument, and it's not shrill and irritating like some stringed instruments that we'll get to are. I really like cello, but I don't love it. It's not essential for me, so I'm going to put it in A tier. Clarinet. To me, is actually quite annoying. I can't really explain why. There's something about its timbre that bothers me. It's like there's something, it hits my ears and my ears just go, argh. It's good for Tom and Jerry cartoons, but real world application, no, not really. I'm gonna put clarinet, yeah, bottom of C tier. Really don't like clarinet. Cowbell. Is cowbell a real instrument? Is like, I mean, it technically is, but no one's ever gonna say, oh yeah, I play the cowbell, aren't they? Come on, I don't know if I can really include this. This is just stupid. D tier. It stands out when it's used, but it's kind of a meme at this point. That doesn't exactly take a lot of skill to play cowbell, and sorry to all of you cowbell players out there, but you are talentless, useless musicians. Cymbals. As in, I feel exactly the same way as with cowbell, although the sound of it is, I guess, at least more impressive and dynamic than cowbell, so it gets slightly above that. Drums. Again, I think we all know where this is going to go before I even explain myself. Drums are one of my favorite instruments. I actually have a natural ability to play drums, even though in the total amount of time in my life that I've played drums probably amounts to about 10 hours. But I have like a natural rhythm, obviously not playing crazy double pedal, you know, speed metal stuff. It's really fun to play, and obviously incredibly essential for most forms of music, I would argue. Of course, this is going to S tier. But where, above or below bass? That is tricky. I hadn't thought about that. I'm going to leave it there for now. I might come back to it. Okay, electric guitar. Again, I don't really need to explain myself here, do I? I mean, I think 6-string guitar it can be very interesting to listen to, but obviously my preference is adding 1 string, or 2 strings, or 3 strings, or 4 strings, but it's still technically electric guitar. So again, it is a very versatile instrument. Obviously, it's been used in weird and wonderful ways since the 50s, 40s, 50s or something. Of course, this is going S tier, but in my personal preference, I'm going to put it under drums, I think. Yeah, because I love bass guitar, I love drums, I love electric guitar, but I don't feel as passionately about electric guitar as I think a lot of others do. But yeah, it's still S tier, so whatever. Flute. A little shrill. It's similar with clarinet, where it kind of pierces my ears slightly when I'm listening to it. But you mix it in with other instruments, and it works. But when it's just on its own, it's a bit annoying. I don't know, I probably seem like a bit of a Philistine, but I don't really have much to say positive about flute. It's very elegant and everything, but it just kind of annoys my ears. So I will put it... I don't find it as annoying as clarinet, though, for some reason. So I'm going to put it above clarinet in C tier. French horn. French horn is actually a very dramatic sounding instrument despite its compact size, and kind of understated as well. Possibly like underrated. And it's very soft and smooth, and it's very difficult to make French horn sound annoying, I think. I don't really believe it has the range to become annoying. It's a very mid-range instrument, and I quite like it. So I'm going to put it in A tier. Yeah, above cello and under bassoon. Acoustic guitar. Obviously, it has a very universally appreciated sound. So many singer-songwriters have just used an acoustic guitar as their entire instrumentation and them singing. Like, that's the whole thing. I mean, that clearly shows it's a very versatile instrument. And it doesn't annoy me. Sometimes the people that play them annoy me. Someone comes to a party and brings a acoustic guitar, I'm going to tell them to leave. You know, that's not the instrument's fault, that's just the hippies that play them. I do quite like acoustic guitar, I don't feel particularly strongly about it. And actually, a lot of the time, it kind of bores me as well. It's not a very exciting instrument, particularly. But that's not to say it's bad. I'm going to put it in B tier, above bongos. In terms of sheer sound, I think cello and French horn are much prettier sounding overall. Harmonica. It can be a very charming instrument if you give it a chance, but it also can be very shrill and annoying, and it's not very versatile. There's very specific genres that you use harmonica in, like blues, for example. You're never going to have harmonica in breakcore. Not my favorite, and often quite annoying, so I'll put it C tier, but above accordion. Like, if someone's playing an accordion, I'm going to move away from them. If someone's playing a harmonica, I will still move away from them, but it'll take a little bit longer for me to do so. Harp. Probably one of the prettiest instruments ever invented. That said, I can't tell you the last time I listened to any music that had harp in it, because I guess I don't listen to much pretty music. But I still totally appreciate it, and not an easy instrument to play either. Watching someone play harp is like angelic when they're a proper pro. It's amazing to watch. And like I say, very pretty, very ethereal, and could be very versatile, but I don't think it's used enough in different kinds of music. I think, you know, being a harp player is quite a rarity, so that's probably why. But I do like it. I just don't... It has little context in music that I enjoy. So I'll put it below acoustic guitar, I think. Hi-hat cymbal. How is that an instrument? I mean, it is an instrument, but it's part of... You wouldn't choose like a piano key as an instrument, would you? That's stupid. I mean, if we're doing this properly, D tier. It's just... If you're just playing a hi-hat, that doesn't sound very nice. So yeah, that's stupid. In fact, no, I'm going to put that bottom of D tier just because it's stupid. Mandolin. Now, I am neither a LARPer or Middle Eastern. So mixed feelings. There's not many circumstances or styles of music in which mandolin is appropriate, I think. Maybe System of a Down used mandolin here and there. Possibly. But again, it suits them because they're System of a Down. But generally speaking, it kind of annoys me. But I don't hate it as much as some of these other ones. It just doesn't apply to me as a enjoyable instrument, so I'm going to put it under harmonica, I think, because it's quite shrill and not very versatile, I will say that. Maracas. I mean, I guess they're technically an instrument, and actually quite versatile, if we're being serious about this. Do I love the sound? Not especially. I don't really have a lot to say about maracas, I think unsurprisingly. I think these belong, like, alongside bongos, maybe below bongos, because they're kind of just mid, nothing. Oboe. Essentially clarinet, but for whatever reason slightly less annoying to me. It doesn't hit my eardrums in the same way that clarinet does. Where did I put clarinet? Bottom of C tier. I'll put it above flute because I still think flute is slightly more annoying. Ocarina. I had to look up what an ocarina actually was. What an annoying little shit. Pointless and annoying. You could learn any instrument in the world, but instead you choose to play this little, in my opinion, pointless little annoying device. And once again, I'm not a LARPer, so this doesn't really apply to me, so I can't appreciate it, I don't think. Literally zero context in any music I enjoy. So Ocarina is going, yeah, below Oboe, because these two are still far more irritating. Oh, pan flute.
No! God, please, no!
There's something about pan flutes, but they seem like such a pretentious, oh, I live in the mountains kind of instrument. Why you would spend any time learning to play pan flutes, I don't know. They sound annoying. They sound like you made a wind instrument out of toilet rolls. I hate pan flutes for some reason. These are, because of how strongly I feel about them, going to bottom of D tier. Because I can see the value in the hi-hat cymbal, even though it's stupid including it as an instrument. I can see the cowbell for the memes. But pan flute, if I never hear pan flutes ever again, it'll be too soon. Piano. I don't know how I feel about piano, like proper grand piano. I mean, obviously it's a very impressive instrument structurally, like it's massive, completely the opposite to an ocarina. It is a very beautiful, fairly versatile sound, but it kind of only does one thing. But I do respect it, absolutely. I don't know, this is an interesting one for me. My gut is telling me B tier, because I do respect it, I do like it, I just have never loved piano for the sake of just piano. So I think, yeah, top of B tier. Because again, like, all of these are kind of mid. Piccolo.
No!
Essentially, like a flute, just smaller and even more annoying. That's just going straight to bottom of C tier. Easy peasy. Recorder.
No!
I'm sure I'm not alone in this experience, but when I was in school, in like age 10, 9, 10, 12, whatever, in music class. Music class was basically, I was so excited when music was introduced to the curriculum. I'm like, oh cool, I'll learn drums, I'll learn guitar, I'll learn this and that. Nope, it's just recorder. Go home and play recorder. This plasticky, or maybe wooden, like shrill tooty-toot machine. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it so much. Partly because it's annoying, and partly because it was such a huge disappointment to me in school, even though I refused to play it, basically. I just went, no, I'm not doing that. Recorder, bottom of C tier. Saxophone! What a fun instrument. There's a few of these brass instruments where people are playing them, and they don't really look like they're having fun playing them. But whenever you see someone playing saxophone, they look like they're having the best time. And it sounds fun. It just sounds like the essence of fun. I can't really explain it any other way. I like the sound. Whenever, in metal particularly, whenever you chuck in a saxophone, which, you know, does happen occasionally, it just adds this layer of unpredictable weirdness to it. I can't really explain it any other way. Saxophone's great. Is it S tier though? I think versatility. We are doing this based on versatility as well, not just how much I enjoy the sound of it. So top of A tier, because you can't add a saxophone to everything. I don't think it's quite inappropriate. You wouldn't have a saxophone in folk music. Oh, steel drum. I did know what steel drum is. I just needed to remind myself, so I looked up this video that I'll have put here, and what an irritating instrument. In terms of versatility, this has got to be one of the worst on this whole tier list. Probably the most annoying percussion instrument that exists, I think. I can't think of another one. A dreadful, horrible, abhorrent instrument. I can see the context for it, but it's never going to be in any music that I ever listen to, so I'm going to put it in D tier. Probably top, because it does require a bit more skill and it is slightly more impressive than Cowbell, but I just think it's crap and annoying, and it's mostly played either by guys in the Caribbean, in that case I can see the context for it, or stupid hippies with dreadlocks who smell and need to get a job. So no steel drum for me, thank you very much. Synthesizer.
Do you know where the tuning is in this car?
Do I really need to explain this? Synthesizer is undisputably the most versatile instrument that exists, I think, in all of human history. You can make a synthesizer sound like all of these that we've already discussed, and it makes its own sounds that you couldn't make with an instrument, a traditional instrument, I guess. Synthesizer is in most music that I enjoy, and to say that I like the sound of it is kind of not quite right, because obviously a synthesizer could make a noise that I don't like, but you just switch it to a different one. Love synthesizer. For me, I think this has got to be top of S tier. Unbeatable synthesizer. It's the perfect instrument. You could have a band consisting, and this has existed, consisting of 5 synthesizers, and there's your whole band. You don't need anything else. Try doing that with 5 maracas. Tambourine. Is there anything to say about tambourine? It's shaky shakies and boom 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 booms. Very low skill level required, but thinking about it is quite versatile. I'm sure it's used in studio music more than we realise, but it's not going to be used live, is it? I'm going to put tambourine actually, yeah, next to maracas, because they sort of do the same job up to a point, but tambourine is a little bit more versatile. And there's no way I can put it above a harp. Oh, triangle. Is a triangle technically a musical instrument? Come on. Like cymbals and cowbell, I get. But triangle? Tell me in the comments a song that you know of that uses a triangle. This is nonsense. But I don't hate the triangle. I just think this is stupid. Pan flute's absolutely worse. Trombone. Trombone is a very mid brass instrument, I think. It always, to me, always sounds like it can't really be bothered. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's trying just because it has to, not because it wants to. Yeah, not the biggest fan of trombone. It just sounds sad and lazy, basically. I'm gonna put it in C tier somewhere. Yeah, not really much to say about it. It's just kind of sad. sad instrument. Okay, trumpets. This is an interesting one, because trumpet, it can be very annoying, but it also can be very fun at the same time. It's very versatile, and often fun when used in the right context. When used in the wrong context, it makes me want to turn the song off. Kind of mixed feelings on this one. This is getting a mess now. I think bottom of B tier. Because it is versatile, but you know, none of these are going to annoy me really, but trumpet probably will at some point. Tuba. I understand why it exists in classical music. It's obviously the brass instrument that covers the bass notes. But aside from that, it just kind of sounds like a sad wail. Not particularly versatile. I don't really enjoy the sound of it. I see why it exists. And people playing the tuba, it looks like they're like really desperately trying to hang on to it, like it's about to escape or something. It's quite funny. But I don't love it. Tuba, below accordion. Because it just very, very mid, but not that annoying. Oh god. Ukulele.
Stop it. Get some help.
Is one of my most detested musical instruments. Largely because most of the times I've experienced ukulele is, again, it's similar with acoustic guitar, in that people just turn up with a ukulele when you didn't ask them to bring one at a party, or you know, you go to the park for a picnic or something. Someone brings a ukulele. If it's an acoustic guitar, okay, fine. You know, there's a lot of range and versatility with an acoustic guitar, but a ukulele is always annoying. Always. I don't understand why, aside from the practicality of a ukulele, because they're very small and easy to transport, sure. But when you've got all of these to potentially get into, why the ukulele? Why? Hate it, hate it, hate it. So this is going with pan flutes, because like these two I actually have a passionate hatred for. And it's actually difficult to choose between these two, which I hate more. Okay, coming to the end now. Upright bass. I think is very, very cool as an instrument. It always sounds like classy and also quite versatile. Whenever you sample upright bass and use it in drum and bass, it just sounds like classy. It's hard to describe. I love upright bass. Again, what I was saying before about upright bass and cello basically being the same thing, I think, this has got to go next to cello. Not just because of that, but because I kind of enjoy both of them equally. And I guess coincidentally, they just happen to have the exact same form factor. Viola. Is basically a slightly larger violin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do like violin. I'm kind of going to group these two together because I think they're very, very similar. I think someone invented a viola and then made it slightly smaller, and we'll just call it a violin. That makes sense, right? And I love both of these. Again, in terms of versatility, these are incredibly versatile. I've heard violin and viola in so many different styles of music. These two are, I think, going to go... Yeah, I think top of A tier, because violins and violas have never annoyed me. Even in the high frequency range, it can be it can fit in all kinds of music. Really like it. Beautiful instrument. Okay, vocals. Is vocals an instrument technically? This one's obviously quite difficult because I would argue that aside from, you know, post-processing, every single human being has a unique voice. So it could be really, really good. It could be really, really bad. It could be really, really deep. It could be really high-pitched. You could have really good vibrato. I can't really say, do I like or dislike vocals? What? I would argue that they're kind of essential, not absolutely essential, but pretty universally appreciated, I'd say. I'm going to put it in... I guess I've got to put it towards top of A tier, because it is a very important instrument, if we're going to call it that. And a lot of bands or artists without the vocals wouldn't be... It's like half the sound missing. So... But it also could be very, very bad. So yeah, I think top of A tier is fine. And the last one, xylophone. Not really much to say about xylophone. There's not much music I've listened to that has xylophone in it. I know what it sounds like, obviously, but it doesn't really apply to a lot of the music I listen to. There's some drum and bass tracks that have xylophone in. I mean, I've used xylophone in my music. This is kind of a mid one, I think, because I don't hate it, I don't love it. Let's put xylophone in... Yeah, I think slap bang in the middle of B tier. Very, very mid instrument as far as I'm concerned. So, there we go. That's my musical instrument tier list. I would imagine that some people are going to be quite annoyed by this. And of course, synthesizer, bass guitar, drums and electric guitar were obviously going to be in S tier. I don't think that will be of any surprise to anyone. Looking at this now, I actually have, apparently, I'd never really thought about this before, but I have a real dislike for a lot of wind instruments. Aside from the bassoon, basically, I don't like any of them. And I like most stringed instruments. Yeah, let me know what your most disliked instruments would be. And if you are a ukulele player or a pan flute player, if you are,
Get some help.
and if you play any unusual instrument of these, like the bagpipes, for example, let me know. If I've, you know, made your life's work a waste of time. But yeah, I thought this would be an interesting little random idea. If I've wasted my time, then also let me know. But that's all. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, then thank you for clicking on this video. And if you're already subscribed, thank you very much for being here. I've still not thought of how to end videos yet, so I'm just going to say... Meow!